let's get your thoughts on Matt Turner. He obviously gets the start today. Not a lot of action, not a lot he could have done on the penalty, but what'd you think of his game?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part it was solid. Obviously, a couple crosses there. I mean, Kiefer Moore, had a dunk that he missed, over the bar, which was very similar to Holland's goal against Senegal, where he got kind of caught in decision, and then the big man got in front of him and got fortunate that it was, flicked over the crossbar. And I think that's going to be something that England's going to be looking at and going to be saying, let's put a lot of crosses on top of this guy. There's one thing when you make that move, from MLS to England, one of the biggest differences is the quality of crosses and the consistency, the way they're whipped in, and then how the split-second decision-making has to be made for you to come out or not come out. And, Matt, I know, great shot stopper. I like the way he read the ball. I would have loved to have seen him head that ball a little bit wider and not force Kellen Acosta into having to take a yellow card in the hope that for Wales that Gareth Bale could hit the midfield bomb. But I think it was decent, but he could improve.
All right, one last thing for you here, Kasey. How do you think the U.S. then, having seen what England did today against Iran, putting up those 6 goals in the 6-2 win, how does this U.S. team, now with a point in the bag, approach that game against England? Because I think there's probably some U.S. fans that are pretty worried that could get out of hand. And if you're 0-1-1, that's not a good spot to be after 2 games.
Well, it's going to be a little different because obviously that first half, and I think we all assumed in that first half that the U.S. was going to have a lot of possession against Wales. That is not going to be the case against England. It's going to be a different mindset on how the team approaches defending, and defending against a team that is significantly more explosive in possession than this Welsh side, that can beat you on the dribble. They can beat you over the top. And not only that, extremely dangerous off of set pieces as well. So multi-headed attack. Still, I think the U.S. has the players. They have the physicality to also, hit England on the counterattack at times. I think if there was one little piece, one little Achilles heel on this English side, I think they can get at the defense when they're pushed up in possession if they make a poor pass. So, but it'll be a completely different look than we saw today. And in some ways, it's almost a little bit different than 2014. 2014, you get the 3 points against Ghana, then the point against Portugal, and you're like, okay, just don't get hammered by Germany, and you've got a really good chance of going through. So this is almost that little bit opposite. Instead of playing Germany in the last game, you're playing that team in the second game, and you're almost going, look, if you can steal a point, brilliant. But in the end, if you can keep that to 1-0 and then know you're going up against Iran, who has to play better than they did against England, and give yourself an opportunity in that last game. Now, by all means, don't be afraid of England. Don't go into the England game thinking, okay, just pack it in with 11 and because they're so much better than us. By no means, but definitely be a little bit more conservative in that match and make sure you don't do what Iran did. Concede that first goal, open yourself up, and before you know it, the game's away from you.
All right, there he is, Kasey Keller. Kasey, great to have you with us here on Futbol Americas, and Herc and I will see you in about 90 minutes on ESPN FC. Thanks again.
Sounds good. All right, guys.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.